All right, so people talk about side hustles, so I just wanted to share, I guess, one of my side hustles, we'll call it. So, in order for me to get these chainsaws that I test on my channel, I gotta come up with a way to make some money sometimes to pay for stuff. So, a lot of companies dispose of their equipment that they don't use in different ways, like investment recovery, auctions, or whatever. So, I try to find stuff like that because when big multi-billion-dollar companies get rid of stuff, a lot of times it's got a lot of life left just in their particular use. They've gone to something else or whatever. So you can get some pretty good deals on some pretty crazy equipment. And then I'll get this equipment and I'll try to sell it at a profit. So I picked these different pieces of equipment up. This here is a 10 horsepower Dayton. It's all three phase, but I got this for 150. And then this is these are Quincy's, which are very, very rugged, long-lived, low RPM air compressors. So this pair of air compressors, which also came with a dryer, was $50. And again, it's three phase. I think they're about 1.5 horsepower motors. These pumps, they just spin really slow. If you look at the ratio here, a lot of these Quincy's, and I think this Dayton spins at like 700 speed air, and this Quincy spins at either somewhere between 5 and 900. And the same with that. That's a 2-stage, 5 horsepower compressor. That was $150. But I figure there's at least $1,000 worth of stuff here, probably quite a bit more. But this is how I try to cover my costs. So I did have to take a drive to pick this stuff up. It never goes exactly how it's supposed to. So I got this thing screwed down to the deck, but one of the straps came loose. So I pulled over and I restrapped it in an effort to make sure nothing can come loose, because I don't want that flying down the road like a guided missile. So hopefully between those screws and the straps, it's all secure. But, you know, there are auctions and, like I say, investment recovery sites. You just got to find where different companies get rid of their stuff. And then, you know, you often bid against other interested parties, but it's still, you can pick stuff up for a pretty good price. I actually got these 2 tanks. They just wanted to get rid of them. And getting it on here was a little interesting, because you'd think big company, they'd have access to loaders, but I guess the people that do that loading or control that weren't there when I picked this up. So I got this winch that I mounted on my trailer, and I run this line back to the, where's the plug? There it is. I run this line back to the battery with another line I made up to power it. And it's got a remote, which is nice. So put the tailgates down and then used some tarps and pulled this stuff up on here. A little bit of rocking and rolling. Oh man, like it was made for it. Look at that. Heavy stuff. And oh yeah, I got a control box for that 2-motor Quincy with the dryer. So yeah, these are the spoils. So let's see if we can make a few bucks on it, either listing it as it is or bringing it onto eBay. A lot of times in parts. You know, that's a 10 horsepower motor. That's a 5 horsepower motor over there. I mean, and that compressor just by itself is worth a fair amount of money. I'd say probably that 1,000 that I mentioned if I pulled that compressor off and just sold it by itself. So yeah, just sharing.